Our next inductee was going to be Jeff Golias. Jeff was an offensive center here from 1979 to 1982. You can see some of his write-up on in the program. Unfortunately, Jeff was on a trip from Vancouver, coming back from Vancouver, and he's in an airport in Chicago where his flight got canceled, and he's stuck there. We feel bad for that. We know that, of course, he'll be invited to next year's induction banquet to participate for that. But let me just tell you a little bit about Jeff Golias, because I was here when, of course, when he played, but also have talked to him since. And much like Barb, he's made a tremendous impact, not only as a football player, but also post-grad. He was a graduate from Chartiers Valley High School in Western Pennsylvania. He was a multi-sport athlete. He was recruited by Charlie Rislavage, which Charlie could really pick him, no question about that. When he came here as a true freshman in the fall of '79, and as we talk with Barb, it's really hard sometimes to understand how hard it is to come in as a freshman, wide-eyed, looking at all these people out and go on the field and play. But he actually played as a freshman, both as a tight end and a linebacker. And if you knew anything about the coaching staff at that time, which was Al Jacks, Charlie Rislavage, Dick Pay, Gene Soboleski, John Reich, those guys always moved players around. And they were so good at that because to get the best players on the field is how they had winners every year. So after the 1979 season, from what Jeff had said, Coach Soboleski and Reich looked at him and said, "We'd like to move you to center." And when you think about tight ends that have been recruited that have ended up on the offensive line, Reggie Wells is the first one that comes to mind. So what kind of career did Reggie Wells have? So anyhow, he ends up moving to center and starts for 3 years. Clarion wins the PSAC championship in '80 and has great years in '81 and '82. And he, of course, graduates. And then in the spring of '83, he really wanted to be a pro. And so what does Jeff do? But he works his tail off and he goes to a Steeler tryout. That tryout was 4 hours. At the end of the tryout, he signs a free agent contract, so a Pittsburgh Steeler. And from that point in the spring to going to St. Vincent, he had the opportunity to go to the facility and lift weights with people like John Kolb and the other offensive linemen at that time. And if you're a Steeler fan, you can just imagine what that was like, to be in that kind of company. He gets to Steeler camp at St. Vincent, and for those of you who know this, they do a 225-pound rep, and that's what tells you how strong you are and how you can maintain that level. Normal, 25 is considered pretty good, 30 is considered very good. He beat every lineman there. He had 39 reps at 250 pounds. So about 3 days before their first preseason game, and he was scheduled to play, he said, he had suffered an injury. And at that time, if you were injured, that was it. You were out. So he got released and then went on with his life. For those of you that know, he owns a company in Irwin. It's called Golden Eagle Equipment. Gee, I wonder where he got that name. He's such a loyal graduate. He's done so much for Clarion. He has given back both financially with time and treasure. And I just think it's important that we recognize him at least right now. I'm sorry that he's at the airport, but that we recognize Jeff Golias for his induction. So I give you again, Jeff Golias. Let's hear it for Jeff. I had some great questions for him, especially about the Steelers stuff, but